वंदे शंभुमुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वंदे जगत्कारणं वंदे पन्नगभूषणं शशिधरं वंदे पशूनां पतिं वंदे सूर्यशशांक वह्निनयनं वंदे मुकुन्दप्रियं वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वंदे शिवं शंकरं. Friends, we are all of divine origin. Swami Vivekananda's statement, each soul is potentially divine. Divinity is hidden in us. There is God available in us. We are all divine. We are all godly. There is that potentiality. The purpose of yoga is to bring out that divinity, the hidden goodness, the latent truthfulness, the available gift, God's gift. It has all to be brought to the surface. Yoga is to make man once again divine. He was divine. He came from divinity, and having come from divinity, having come from God, it's our duty to return to the origin. It is our responsibility to become divine once again, and that pathway to perfection, that marga to become divine is yoga. In the Mahabharata, we find Karna. He is the son of Surya. Surya is God. He is divine. He is the giver of light to the entire world. He gives us life. He gives us light. He gives us happiness. And such a divine Surya's origin, Surya's Amsha or Surya's son is Karna. On the battlefield, when his wheel was stuck up in the ground, when he was struggling to lift that chariot wheel, Radha Chakra, when he was helpless, when he was struggling, Krishna asked Arjuna to shoot and kill him. Karna looks at Krishna and asks a question. My dear Krishna, is it right on your part to kill me when I don't have the weapon? Is it right on your part to kill me when I am struggling to lift the chariot wheel? I am of divine origin. I am Surya Putra. And do I deserve this miserable death? Should I die a tragic death? What crime did I commit? What sin did I do? Why should you punish me like this? Is it right? And Krishna says, my dear Karna, no doubt you are of divine origin. You are the son of Surya, but you have not practiced yoga, my man. You have not been a yogi to be once again divine. It was a shock to Karna. Where did I not practice yoga? And Krishna, point after point, tells, if we study Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, the very first step or anga is Yama. And in Yama, we find first and foremost Satya. Without truth, there is no rise. Truth is nothing but the very embodied aspect of Lord the Divine. Such is the greatness. And my dear Karna, where did you practice truth, my man? You went to Parshuram's University of Archery. Parshuram has prescribed a particular condition that every student should tell truth. And you produced a false caste certificate. You told a lie. You are not a Kshatriya according to the birth certificate. You are a Sutaputra according to your birth certificate. And that truth you have not told. You have suppressed the truth. You are not a BC. You produced the BC certificate to get the scholarship. You are not an SC, ST boy. You have produced a false caste certificate that you belong to the SC community and ST community so that you can come and become a IAS officer under reserved quota. Karna, you are a Sutaputra on the earth. You are a Suryaputra by origin. Had you stuck to your truth, you should have told Parshuram, sir, by birth, by divine origin, I am a Suryaputra, but on the earth, I am a Sutaputra. No, you didn't say it. You have told a lie. Where did you observe Satya? And without observing Satya, how can you become a yogi? You may do yoga instructor's course. You may do 3-year BSc course in yoga. You may become an MSc yoga, an MPhil yoga, a PhD in yoga. If you don't have that fundamental truthfulness, you are unfit to be a yogi. And therefore, Krishna comes Karna point blank, did you observe yoga? This is not a divine quality. This is not Daiva Sampatti, it is Asura Sampatti. Though we are born as divine beings, we have suppressed it, we have forgotten it, we have taken to the wrong practices, and we have become Asuric Sampat. Karna, you are by birth Surya's son, but since you have not followed yoga, since you have not observed truth, the very fundamental fact, you have taken to the path of Asura, a Rakshasa, a liar, Asat you have spoken when you got admission into the University of Parshuram, you told him a lie. Number 1. 2. My dear Karna, Aparigraha is propagated by Patanjali. Yoga cannot exist to a person who is greedy, who is of grabbing tendency, who is of accumulating in nature, wealth. Somehow or other, you wanted to become rich. You wanted to become a king. When Duryodhana brought that crown, when he offered you a throne, when he made you the king of Angarajya, you should have said, no, I don't want your charity. I can live on my feet. I can stand on my feet. I can earn it myself. Nachiketa said to Yamadharmaraj, I shall give you wealth. I don't want it, man. I shall give you the pleasures. I can have them myself. I shall make you the multi-millionaire. I don't want your petty charity. In Tamil, there is a beautiful sentence Tamilians would appreciate. Iyana irattal elidandru, iyenandral adaninu elidandru, kollana kuduttal uyirtandru, kollenandral adaninu uyirtandru. A man, by saying no, becomes divine. I don't want it. There are many people who have refused to accept charity. It's a mean fellow, a non-yogi who accepts the alms from somebody. Duryodhana, the wicked man, came, brought the crown, offered the throne, made you the king of Angaraja. Yes, sir, you accepted it. Aparigraha. This is the quality of a Rakshasa. Grabbing tendency, accepting tendency. Where did you observe yoga, my man? Is it not a crime that you committed? Satya, aparigraha, ahimsa, man. Even in the yuddha on the battlefield, you can kill people. It is for dharma. It is your kartavya. It's your dutifulness. There are people, especially husbands, capable of biting the wives like a scorpion, stinging the wives like a scorpion. Wives, much more powerful, pricking all the time when the husband is eating food. Capable of stinging each other, wounding the hearts. That is a greater ahimsa. Arjuna is not a killer. He has done his duty. But wantonly, deliberately, if you want to wound the feelings of others, that is greater ahimsa. By thought, word and deed, Gandhiji says, we mercilessly wound the feelings of others. When did I wound? Whom did I wound? Karna asks, keep quiet. That day, in the public court hall, in the broad daylight, when Dushasana held his hand on the hair of Draupadi and dragged her into the public court hall to disrobe her, you fellow, did you keep quiet? You used dirty words. You woman, you have already had 5 husbands. Why can't you have 1 more, 2 more, 3 more? A pativrata she was, a dedicated woman she was, a committed lady of virtues she was. And in the public court hall, when others hesitated to use foul words, dirty words, you did not hesitate. Ahimsa, himsa you performed. You have harmed her. You have wounded her feelings by your words, stinging words, poisonous words, words which are sharper than rapier thrusts. Such a dirty tongue you have, and that is ahimsa. Where did you perform, man? You performed only himsa. Asteya. And this is, you are a thief, he says. Where did I steal? Whom did I rob? I accept. I did not tell the truth when I got admission into the University of Parasuram. I told him a lie. I accept. Yes, aparigraha, I should not have accepted the crown from Duryodhana. I did accept, it's a crime, I agree. Himsa, I did perform, I insulted, humiliated, wounded the feelings of Draupadi in the public court hall by using all vulgar words. I do admit that I am a criminal by wounding the feelings of Draupadi. Ahimsa I never observed, it is only himsa that I performed. I agree, sir. But asteya, where did I own anything? Sri Krishna smiles and says, asteya is very difficult to understand. I was in Hyderabad. I did not have a house. A rich gentleman, he was going to America. He had a very beautiful palatial building. He called me one day, my dear, I am going to US. My house is vacant. I don't want to give it to anybody on rent because they would spoil the house. Because you are my best friend, I trust you, I believe you, I request you to stay in that house, in my house, stay there. How much should I pay as rent? You need not pay any money. Then, I don't want to accept anything free, sir. Then you pay the electricity bill, you pay the water bill, you pay the annual tax, and I want to give you some rent. All right, if you are so particular, give me just 100 rupees. The house would fetch about 40 to 50,000 rupees per month. Such a house is available to me at a rent of only 100 rupees. The man went to America, I occupied the house, a palatial building, beautifully I was enjoying, and at the entrance, the owner's picture was present, painting. It's a furnished house. And I maintained it very, very well. Second year he came, Sabash, you are maintaining my house very, very well, sir. I am very much pleased with you, sir. I don't want to take that 100 rupees from you. Please give me only 50 rupees. I was very, very happy. I was paying him 50 rupees. Next year he came, he was doubly happy with the maintenance of the house. Sir, it is your house, sir. It is your palatial building, sir. It's my duty, sir. I have maintained it, sir. Sir, I feel very sorry to take that rent. You may just give me a token rent of only 5 rupees. Fourth year he came. And he landed in the airport, Hyderabad. While coming to him, somebody told him, sir, did you sell your building to him? That man is telling everybody it is his house. The owner came, he looked at me, the picture of the owner is removed. I have placed it under the basket somewhere. And when he came, I was just a little nervous. He asked me, sir, get out of my house. Why, sir? See, as long as you did not own this house, as long as you were only a trustee of this house, as long as you were maintaining this house, I allowed you to live in this house happily. The moment you try to own it, I throw you out. God has given this body to us to be kept in order, to utilize it for a good purpose. And Sharira Madhyam Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. Every time I use any part of this body, I must take the permission of the owner. I cannot give this body to anybody without the permission of God. I cannot use this right hand without the permission of Indra. I cannot use my eyes without the permission of sun god. I cannot use the mind without the permission of Indra. In Vedic mantras, each part of the body has an Adhisthana Devata. He is the owner. I am a tenant. Karna, what did you do, man? You gave your kavacha and kundala without taking the permission of the sun god. You are a tenant in the house. Sun god has given you that protection, has given you that wonderful kavacha, and he has given you that kundala. Kavacha is protecting armor. Kundala is the beautiful, dazzling adornment. Because I have been the son of Surya, I am blessed with Kavacha and Kundala. Because you are practicing yoga, your body is sturdy. Because you are practicing yoga, your face is charming, tejas. Now you have given away that protection. That means you stopped practicing yoga. You have lost that grandeur. You have lost that tejas, you have lost that protection, and you have given it away to Indra for Indriya Bhogas. Indra is a symbolic person for the pleasures of the body bhoga. Just to get the yashash, to become famous, to get the kirti, you are lured by the sense pleasure that you are the giver. Dana karna, you wanted to be boastful, you gave it away without taking the permission of the sun god. As a matter of fact, the sun god asked him not to give. Still you have given. What right do you have, man? That too, when you gave, it's not for a good cause. It is for the pleasure. Indriya Bhoga. What is that Indriya Bhoga that you become great? Is it of any use to Indra? You lost all your grandeur. You lost all your protection. You have lost everything. Asteya. Asteya means to own which is not your own. Ishavashyam idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjita magrita kasyasvid dhanam. Don't try to own the wealth which belongs to somebody else. Dhana is wealth. Physical wealth, psychic wealth, intellectual wealth, monetary wealth, spiritual wealth. So many types of wealth. They have all been given to us because we are supposed to be the trustees. When you lose that trusteeship, then you try to own it and misuse it, you will be lost once for all. You will become a non-yogi, and non-yogi is the quality of an asura, daiva, asura, sampat. Divine quality is to practice yoga. The demonic quality is not to practice yoga. And Sri Krishna in this wonderful Bhagavad Gita describes Karna is born as a divine person, but unfortunately he died a demonic death, a tragic death, a miserable death, because he did not follow the path of yoga. He told a lie. He accepted aparigraha. He is expected to practice, but parigraha he had, and he wounded the feelings of Draupadi. He performed himsa karya. Ahimsa he did not practice. Asteya, he should have been a trustee. He tried to own which is not his own, and that too for a wrong use. Therefore, Karna, you deserve a miserable death. Come on, Arjun, shoot. May we all, by the grace of God Almighty, practice yoga so that we can once again become divine. Our young boy has prepared a 4-minute film show to describe what is Daiva Sampat, what is Asura Sampat. Over to the young boy. 4-minute film show.